I thought you were gonna be on cams.
Who? Me?
Yes, your camera was looking crisp and everything. I thought you was
I gotta
gonna.
represent the bad bitch that's holding this. She's. Y'all better stop playing with her. That lady.
I mean, you had the damn. You mean you couldn't make a background? Make her the background?
Not me getting a phone call. Hello. I'm actually live on YouTube right now. Okay.
And Twitter as well.
All right, bye.
Let them know. Let them know.
Yeah, let them know. Let them know you booked and busy. Let them know you booked and busy.
Let's not talk about books.
Look, you've been on the road. You've been on the road.
You've been booked. You've been busy. Been having the time of your life.
Okay. My first, what's this, day 4? My first 3 days of Pride have been insane. So let's just say that. But I'm thankful
love to see it. We love to hear about it.
For all the opportunities.
Period.
Amen.
Lay period, as they like to say. El Periodo.
Come
on, I was about to say that.
Hmm.
Hold on, let me look it up now that you say that.
Come on, I'm always at work. Come on, say dice. Come on, say dice. Oh Lord, come on, say dice.
And speaking of Spanish, hola everybody! Welcome to our X-Men '97 review. We are here. We're live. We're talking it up. About to chop it up with y'all about arguably the best piece of X-Men media in the last 15 or so, 20 plus years. If you didn't like the movies, 15 or so if you only liked a couple of them, 10 if the last good one came out in 2014 for you, 7 if the last one came out in 2017. Quick maths. I know my X-Men movie release window, so yeah, I'm good with that. But yeah, we're here to talk about X-Men '97. You know, we're here to we've all seen it in its entirety, and we are here to give y'all that good old X-Men multiversity because we fashion ourselves some mutants, some extraordinarily gifted individuals. So we might as well give it to y'all. Great. The full crew is here. Everybody say what's up.
What's going on, good people?
Hey, what's up? Oh, and Mike, for the record, it's Periodo.
Periodo. Period. Oh. It's the Periodo. This ain't period. Oh God, that was funny. Okay, that was funny.
So yeah, y'all, how are you? How in so many words, first how y'all doing? How y'all doing tonight?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel like I'm in a pretty good mindset and a pretty good mood.
Good. That's
but yeah, how are y'all doing?
General consensus.
Good. I was watching the Mystics and the Suns game.
Oh.
Before I came on.
Mike, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I just worked out. So yeah, I'm feeling really nice right about now. I'm ready to finally get into this TV show. I think the best animated series of 2024, if you want to keep it above.
Mm-hmm.
I concur.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Or as the phrase that I solely created, laying in my bed one day looking up at my ceiling, like Ben Affleck, I agree. Anybody want to question that? And 0.1 second? No, I did create that. All right, let's keep.
We would like to question that, but I feel like Aaron's just waiting. I feel like since his profile picture is Magneto, he's in his Magneto era. He's just waiting.
The window
he's
to
just
close.
waiting.
The window
he's
to
waiting.
close that. The window to question that has closed, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to maybe circle back to that the next time we stream in some capacity.
That is such a Cyclops thing. That is such a Cyclops thing to do.
I'm looking.
Let's not get started. I will say, since we talked about this episode, I did get this today. Hold on, I can show you.
I'm sorry, Aaron. You kind of sounded low, brother. I couldn't quite make out what you said, dude. So
I know you're very much Charles Xavier in all this, and I accept it.
Shut up. I thought I was still on mute, but I did get this today.
Wait, Mike.
Nice.
I don't think you were supposed to show that because it's not Wednesday yet.
Wait, huh?
Yeah, it comes out Wednesday.
Why did my comic book store have it today?
Maybe had it early. Don't get us Falcon Punched, Mike. That's supposed to come out tomorrow. That's the last.
For real?
Yep, that's the last Krakoa and Era comic.
Oh, I'm a bad bitch.
We'll blur it in post.
Oh, no, wait.
It's too late now. We live. It's too late now.
Wait, this doesn't come out till tomorrow for real?
Yeah, that's the last Krakoan Era comic book.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, well, why did they have it? Wait, somebody fact check it right now.
I've been this all day. I can pull it up 0.5 seconds.
Mike in the future.
X-Men Uncanny X-Men 35
But
or
that's that
Uncanny
Jean Grey.
X-Men.
That's that Jean Grey.
No, that's
Hey, no shade. That's a little scary.
Because he uses telepathy. He secretly uses telepathy to be like, give me the new, give me
I
the
should have bought 3 copies. Damn. Are you fact checking for real though?
Yes, sir. Well, no, my phone is green screen, but yes. Get out of my way, ads.
I just want to make sure.
Yep,
like,
June 5th, 2020.
Are you serious?
Hold
And
on.
the crazy thing about it, I went to go get something else. I went to go get 3 other titles, but then I had to look, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Tuesday, so it's not really it's not Wednesday when actual titles come out." So I picked that up, and I picked up Blood Hunt issue 2. So I was like, okay, I'll come back tomorrow before I go to work or whatever. But that's crazy that they already had it. I felt let's just go ahead.
Yeah, look,
Come on, Cable.
Pop and lock in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Ooh, oh Lord. Well, look, I was heading to it right quick. Hold on. Well, because at this point, but start us off, Q. Get us going.
So yeah, for those who just have been under a rock for the last month and a half, 2 months, month and a half, when it came out in May, right? In the X-Men 97, late April, May.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't keep up with animation.
So
That's a damn lie.
So it came out about a month and a half ago, and X-Men 97 immediately took the world by storm, pun intended. And what the first 2 episodes dropped, which is the normal for all of the newer Disney Plus marquee series. And I'll just be the first to say it. When this was initially announced, I was not excited for it. Before 97, I was, to me, as much as I love the nostalgia of OG X-Men,
It came out in March.
Series,
It came out in March 20th. That's when March 20th. That's when the first 2 episodes dropped.
Okay, so yeah, clean 2 months by this point. Yeah, 2.5, I should say. yeah, so the original X-Men the animated series obviously had the nostalgia factor, had us a lot of iconography with a lot of other Marvel projects that came around that same time. The first thing to come to mind is the Marvel versus Capcom video games. But as a show itself, I always felt like it was the third weakest when you factor in X-Men Evolution and Wolverine and the X-Men in terms of quality. So I was like, 97 plus. You know, What If was, it's okay. Some of the episodes are pretty good, but generally they're just okay. So as far as the Marvel Studios animation side of things, I was like, I got Spider-Verse, so I guess if this is mid, I can live with it or whatever. But I was wrong. This was far from mid, far from granular, far from just a nostalgia cash grab. You can tell these folks put their heart, soul, and time into making this not just a worthy successor to the original series, but an actual stand on its own to animated extravaganza that captured the essence of what makes the X-Men great, especially when you weigh it against your childhood memories of them. So yeah, that's my quick preamble about it. What about y'all?
I mean, unlike Kwamani, I go back to the saying that I created when Multiversity was first thought of. When I saw the trailer, I was fired up. I was like fired up.
Oh, that's a throwback. That's a throwback. A throwback.
Like, I'm so glad I created that thing. Like, that is so me, right? And I was just like, I was a little skeptical at first. I'm not gonna lie, for some reasons, keyword, but because of the way, this is my animation nerd moment, but just because the way you could tell the people behind the scenes really well, that's a whole other can of worms. But before certain things happen, you could tell people behind the scenes really had, the care, and there were rumors about what they were going to tackle, and, just bless them, bravo, and I said, if anything but the first episode was trash, then I knew it was going to be, no good. But it exceeded my expectations. I already had, it was like, let's say an 8. It went to an 11 or more. Like I said, that's why I was fired up. I just cute.
Like Ben Affleck, I agree. That was
I bet. I so bet. See, that's why. Hey man, get him! Get him there!
What do you expect me to do? No. But it will come. The time will come. Trust me, the time will come. But no, I don't want to say I was indifferent about it, but I didn't know really what to expect. So I was just okay, cool. I'll see what it's about. Watching the the original, I was like, okay. And like you said, it exceeded my expectations. I was like, oh, they're going there. Like they're really going there. And pretty much from episode 1, just every episode just kept raising the stakes higher and higher and higher to where you were just like, this is getting good. Like this is what an X-Men story should be. This is how you do the X-Men right. And I enjoyed it. I took my time, just soaking it in, observing, because I feel like if I binged every episode like that day, I wouldn't really completely grasp it. It would all just go over my head, as opposed to normally after I watch something, I really think about it, and then that's when all these thoughts and stuff will come. So I was able to do that with this by taking my time, because I'll admit I was the last person to watch it in the group. And they were waiting on me to watch it, and when I
what we were waiting on you. I don't. What?
Y'all know it's true. Y'all know it's true. I'm not. I'll take that L. I will take that
No,
L.
we
I
were
was the
waiting
last
on.
person.
We were waiting for Q to get off that bus.
You know what, Avia? I mean, sure, it only took you about 40 years and 40 nights to finish the show.
Now, hold on now. It took me a minute, but it did not take me months
don't
like
do
it took
that.
you to
It
watch
took-
The Green
it
Knight.
took
Don't start. Don't start. Do not start.
We know it took her 50, and it's okay. You know.
What about you, Mike?
Go ahead and finish, Avery.
No, I just said, you know how that man felt.
No, that's not. No, Mike. Actually, I don't. I mean, well, we talk about it basically every week, but I don't know if his opinion has changed or was more refined.
I feel like my opinion has changed since the first time I've watched it, and it's set with me.
Oh, then expound.
We'll talk about it in detail.
I mean, just like your first. I mean, like before we get into some specifics, what were your?
My first initial thoughts was that I was super excited. Couldn't wait. Pressed. Pressed. I mean, I was pressed every week. It was a great journey. I think my biggest thing I was most excited about was the animation, just because it made me feel like when I watched Sailor Moon Crystal, and it was new animation, basically HD 4K. You know, it was, brand spanking new type feels in the whatever you want to, in that new spectrum of how we receive television. So I was excited for that. It would have that essence and that aesthetics of the 90s, but with that fresh, that fresh color, that little bit of HD and 4K. So I think that's what I was excited about, to see that clean cut of the X-Men in action. And I definitely enjoy it from episode 1 into the finale. I watched some episodes more than 3 times. So yeah, I enjoyed the journey of X-Men 97. It was a good one. I think it's probably my favorite animated series of the year.
Facts. So yeah, let's where do we start? He says after he wrote an entire outline of this episode. We're going off script. We're throwing away the outline. We're changing up the format. So actually we're not. I just wanted to say that. But yeah, let's just talk about the general, the general overview of the season was that, it's a direct continuation of how the original series ended, which, for those who don't know, basically Charles Xavier was gravely wounded. He wasn't going to survive on Earth, but his bird girlfriend, the alien empress Lilandra, said that the Shi'ar Empire, which is the space aliens the X-Men mostly deal with, they had the technology to not only keep him alive but get him back to full strength, but he would have to leave Earth and the X-Men behind. And if you've ever seen the shot with the not jankily, but the differently animated X-Men staring up at the sky, it was from there. So 97 is directly continuing from that. Jean is pregnant at the beginning of the series, and the X-Men are stopping, these anti-mutant terrorists from trafficking a young mutant, Roberto. And from there, it just goes from there in terms of storyline, and that being the first pin in the long wire of story beats. So let's talk about the just general first 3 episodes. First 4. Let's 3. Let's just talk about the first bit of the episodes. I'm kind of iffy on the numbers. What were y'all impressions of those episodes?
Ladies first, because she has the fresh mind on it.
how they continued it was very interesting, you know. But I like me personally, just how her demeanor and how she is as an X-Men, I would have figured that Storm, you know, would pretty much be the leader or take control of the X-Men, but you know it's Cyclops instead. So I thought that was a interesting take on who would, you know, lead the X-Men into battle after Charles is gone. You know, the relationship with Rogue and Gambit, you know, it was interesting. And then we find out that her and Magneto are, you know, they're becoming a thing. Or is that later on? That's like a little bit later on with her in Genosha when we really start to see their relationship, you know, change. You know, my favorite is Kurt. I love Kurt. Like I love him. I love Nightcrawler. He's one of my favorite X-Men. Like he always has the knowledge, even though he may look different as opposed to everybody else. He's the one who's truly human. Like he's the one I feel like truly feels like he's human because he, you know, he always has this inner peace, this you know, understanding about everything. And just Jean, you know, her whole story, even though it's not really Jean, because that's what shook me. Like at the end, we find out that that's not really Jean. He's like, what? You know, that's Madeline Pryor. That's the Goblin Queen. Like, oh shit, what? And you know, just Nate, you know, them sending Nate to the future, finding, you know, Cable coming back, like just every. I was like, like I said, all the first 3 episodes they had me, like they had me hooked. Just, you know, but the one thing that I was kind of like, was Storm's powers getting taken away. I was like, okay, y'all doing my girl dirty, because of all the characters that get their powers taken away, had to be Storm. Like the one, really, like, yeah, y'all let me know, because like I said, I wish I read a lot of X-Men comics growing up, but I didn't. Does she get her powers taken away in this like timeline or this?
So yeah, the the first significant Storm storyline is her losing her powers. It's around the time, if not the time, which leads to her getting the mohawk and the leather outfit. That's actually when she like really becomes the leader of the X-Men during like the 80s, during the first Secret Wars era. So like that, her losing her powers is like one of the most significant X-Men stories, because it's basically showcasing, you know, how this powerful character, how they can rebound and actually internally grow more powerful. I think I told y'all this, but like when they were dropping the promotional material about the episode titles, I immediately knew that was the direction they were going to go through, because the episode title is like one of the episodes after the first one. The first couple episodes is the title of the storyline where she loses her powers. So that is, I'm in agreement with that, Avia. I didn't expect, going before I saw the episode titles, I wasn't expecting that to be a story thread they were going to use. I very much was not feeling it, because, you know, y'all already know how I feel about these comic book writers and adaptators and things like that. And I feel like trying to make this storyline mainstream in 2024 is not really the wave, especially when we have so many people resisting women superheroes, them being marquees and things like that. I feel like taking arguably the most popular superhero, a woman superhero, let alone the most popular Black woman superhero, let alone the most popular Black superhero, and the big X-Men resurgence that people were waiting for under this pseudo MCU banner, and she's the powered for literally 50 to 60% of the series. Definitely was a choice that I wouldn't have made. I wouldn't have
Right.
if call me a coward
It-
if
it-
you want to, but I wouldn't even had done the storyline at all because I don't find it
At least not this
necessary.
season. At least not this. At least not this season coming back. You know, not this first season. Like it's just.
Yeah, and
I was like,
it's-
okay.
It is, and it's like it was like, and I told Mike this. I don't watch episode 2. Like that's the only episode I don't rewatch because seeing the anguish in Storm's face and all of that as quote unquote, good television as far as an emotional and conveying that goes, I just don't see a reason to rewatch that, even with the Magneto speech that comes right after it. I can go without that. I'm familiar enough with the X-Men to go, okay, boom, bam, that's the story beat you guys wanted to hit. I just won't rewatch it. I'll just more or less skip to the part where she gets her powers back, and that part can just be done with. But no, I definitely echo that sentiment that yeah, that was a choice. I wouldn't say it was a good choice, but it was a choice.
Right.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it was choices were made. Yeah, I'm with y'all on that because not to go too deep into that, but I never liked this storyline and specifically what Q just pointed out because it's reminiscent of something that a lot of writers do to women. If you know what you know, if you can pick up what I'm putting down.
And it's
it's not good.
It would always not makes me laugh like haha funny, but like in a damn type of ways that Chris Claremont, who was the guy of X-Men, he wrote X-Men for 10 straight years, basically 20. His favorite character is Storm. Then if you go back and you read his X-Men, even with this storyline, Storm is, Wolverine was the most popular, but the character with the most significant actual core values throughout was Storm. So much so that there was a lot of weird decisions he was trying to push just to elevate Storm, which wouldn't have worked. Let me just say that there were certain white characters that he wanted to make black, so Storm Storm could be a mother, a more direct mother figure to them, and
that's what they want. Like that's and I saw some Twitter discourse talking about they pretty much tried to propel Storm into this, mother figure as opposed to being. I mean, she does have that maturity because she has that grown woman energy about her. But they were trying to, like they always do, they try to make her seem like a mother as opposed to being a part of the team. You get what I'm saying? Maybe I'm not phrasing that right, but you get what I'm saying?
Stereotype. I'll just say the mammy stereotype.
Yeah.
Okay, look.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The black female therapist. That's the one thing that I still didn't like was completely out of character was her telling Jean, confiding in Jean that she wishes she was just, quote unquote normal sometime, but choices were made. But with that said, the first 3 episodes, I think they set the tone properly. It's just choices were made.
It's yeah, that's and it's funny because it's no doubt in my mind that this is a room of individuals who are going to just if you've heard any interviews with the cast and crew and I'm gonna toss it to Mike once I finish saying this. If you watch any interviews with the cast and crew from our other podcast that's been covering X-Men 97, or you've read their Twitter feeds, these are people that give a damn and weren't chasing a check. I'm with, obviously the mouse is going to mouse, but if there's anything in their power that they can change and do better, then I can say I have faith in them to correct some things that they may not have been able to correct at the time being, is all I'm going to say. There you go, Mike.
Let's see. Where do I want to begin? Episodes 1, 2, and 3. I think episode 1 was a great opening episode, bringing us back into this aesthetic, this storyline, this what we grew up on and everything. We haven't seen these characters in this light or in this animation since, the original. So I think it was a really great opening episode. We got to see Cyclops do that perfect landing, got to see the team, buckle a little bit, got to see Storm do this chaotic, super move and everything like that. Like I said, I think it was a great opening episode. How can I say this without word choices? Without, you know what? I'm gonna skip that. Episode 2. I'm good. Episode 2 was I think it was kind of crazy with the choices that were made. I'm gonna say it. I think it was kind of crazy with the choices made, but I also think about creative standpoints and character development. I think what they were trying to do was, develop a character in a way that we haven't seen that character. And I think that goes for two characters right now. And I'm talking about Magneto and Storm. You see them in the original series, you see them at their peak. You see them at so many different power levels and so many different developments in that original series. I feel like what they wanted to do was shake the table a little bit. And I hate to say it, but regardless of the consequences that came behind it, because with development and with creativity, you just do stuff on a whim to see what the reaction will be. I do think choices was made, but I think they did shake the table a little bit. They said, something, you know what? Let's put everything on the upside down real quick. Let's put y'all in the upside down world. I.e. the whole Storm situation. I was sad. I was like, well, damn. Mind you, talking to Q, I was like, well, damn, does this happens in the comics? He's telling me, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, well, let's see how it plays out on screen in the animated, in an animated format. And like I said, I think they wanted to take her into a different POV as far as what we've seen in the original. So yeah, it was a choice. Maybe not the good choice. Maybe it could have been done a different way, or maybe you could have did it and still gave her some type of strong sensibility of who she was, and not just weaken her and made her feel like she didn't matter, or make her feel like she was worthless, or make her feel like she shouldn't be a mutant. But you also have to think about that comes with that development. So I don't know. With that situation, it's a left and a right foot for me. And then episode 3, favorite episode, loved it. Madeline showed her ass. I was like, when I say I ain't seen a transformation like that in a long time, since another transformation that was an actual live action transformation, I was like, oh, she said, mommy's busy. Like, what? Like, come on, man. Like, Madeline ate the girls up real good. And I was living for it because I am a Jean Grey fan. So I was living for the whole, the second visitor coming into the door and fainting, and you realizing when she fainted, I was like, but the whole time I was watching it, episodes 1, 2, and 3, I said, that's not my lady. And I was saying at the Q and A, and I was like, something ain't right, and I don't like it, but we're going to keep going with it. And as a fan of Jean Grey, I enjoy episodes 1, 2, and 3 just because I got two bad bitches. Two baddies. Like, so I was chef kissing to the Madeline, Jean Grey esque of it all. So yeah, episodes 1, 2, and 3, I think, like Aaron says, it sets the groundwork. Sets the groundwork and tone for the entire season. Because I think after that,
especially even with the episodes 4, 5, and 6. I think it just sets the tone for what is coming and what is bigger than what we saw in episodes 1, 2, and 3. So setting the tone, they get an A+. Choices, you get a B-.
Yeah, that sounds
maybe
about
a C.
accurate.
And that's what I say. I'm not taking away from the choices that was made, but I have to think about, as a creative standpoint, how can you shake the table? What can get the masses talking? So, and I really think the situation with Storm did get the masses talking. Even just listening to y'all, it's like that's a deep ass topic right there, But yeah, episode 1, 2, and 3, good job.
So I'll say this while we're still on the topic of Storm, let's just go straight into the regaining of the whole life death scenario that did end up happening, because we really don't have to talk about Motendo and Mike.
Why we don't have to talk about Nintendo?
Because you're not gonna find a larger Jubilee stand than your boy. I really do dig Jubilee.
So you didn't appreciate the okay, so you didn't appreciate her. Okay, so if you're a stan or you're
I thought that gaming episode was cute. I thought that gaming episode was cute.
If you take it back a step, and as a fan, I think you would realize that she had a little development that she had to go through from her original state when we first saw her being snatched up by a Sentinel on the first episode.
I get all that.
Like, give credit where it's due. No shade.
I do. Look. First of all, y'all already know, as a video gamer, there was a lot of cool references, especially to Marvel video games in general, that I appreciated. I appreciated that the older Jubilee was the original voice actor for Jubilee, who's one of my favorite media people. She was goddamn Claire Redfield in the Resident Evil games, the OG Claire Redfield. So, a big comfy couch. She was her as well. So you guys are going to I dig all of that. I just feel that it could have been I feel like, considering the fact that they split up life death like they did, I feel like they could have cut this and just focused on putting more time into that instead of making it so life death was its own episode, and then half of Motendo, and then on her episode, she still had to carry the Shi'ar stuff. I feel like all of that could have been done better if Motendo is not there. And I also think Jubilee got some good character development towards the end of the season anyway. So, I
mean, it is the lowest rated episode on the damn thing, but I do appreciate the split. Only because I think you couldn't put too much. I mean, you could have split the shit and just gave them they could have had their own separate episodes. You could have done that. Like, Nintendo could have been its own episode, even with more with Jubilee. But I think there wasn't too much you could do versus what was happening in the second half and the later half with her character development. But I liked it. It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I like I said, I liked it, but as far as an at-length discussion on it, considering the other big things, it's not a skip, but it's a here you go. Here's your juice. Here your juice box. Now we got to talk about the significant stuff. I mean, shit, we ain't gonna be talking to. I mean, ain't too much to say about the Xavier part too, outside of
because I get it, because the Genosha episode is very heavy. I was even watching, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, because that's the next. That's the next. That's the.
So they probably did just split it. It was okay, we're gonna give y'all a little bit lightheartedness this episode, because the next one, it's like full out war. It's like a war episode.
Right,
it's
full blown war.
So yeah, let's. I want to talk about the practical. That's a Freudian slip, but that's there's a reason why I just Freudian slipped right there. Let's talk about the Genosha episode. So y'all know this wouldn't be more diversity if we didn't get a little controversial up in here. Y'all know that. Y'all see them two letters. Y'all see these 4 people, and y'all already know what time it is. So let's talk about let's because we're gonna talk about them again. But let's talk about the showrunner Mr. Bodemayo for a hot, quick second. So if anybody is in the lead up to this, has followed them online, you know, there's a plethora of things that there's, especially when the show was going to air, there's controversy because they were fired. Prior to that, if you were following them as the show was being developed, you would know that there was a lot of heated discussions, to say the least, about his opinion on the Krakoan era of X-Men, which, if I'm not mistaken, was around year 3 at the time, where all of that stuff was jumping off. So, Genosha was basically Krakoa, but 90s version. Like, obviously, there were things missing, key things missing. No gates, no resurrection, things like that. But the general, as someone who's consumed the Krakoan era greatly, and this is not just a singular sentiment, I've seen other people pick up on this too. This was very Krakoan era coded. You know, it had its council on there, which had certain mutants there that, you know, if I was looking a little bit closer to, it's not cool. I wouldn't call it coincidental that they were sitting on that council. The way they portrayed community in Genosha, that was very much not how it was portrayed at the same time in the comics. Just the gala, one might say it was hellfire because of 2 people involved, which were Sebastian Shaw and Emma Frost. And I couldn't help but just have the sinking suspicion that either it was a ruse to throw people off of what they were going to do in the show, which, considering the veracity of which they were speaking negatively about the era, I wouldn't assume so. Or maybe there was just some feelings that were being done that they were expressing through this episode, especially considering what happens at the end of it, which I also find coincidental because this episode was about 2-3 weeks removed from what happened in the comics at the third Hellfire Gala, which had similar results, especially in considering who died and who lived. But yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop as far as that design goes, but how the actual episode went, yeah, a lot of people saying this is up for Emmy consideration, and I am in complete agreement with it. This did, man, the X-Men are good for character building and story world building, and this was quintessential. This is right up there to the 10th degree. Seeing the backstory with Rogue and Magneto and how that relationship went, and no, Rogue was not a teenager during those times. That wasn't the implications. She was an adult. So if anybody's talking about some square, that's the teenager. No, that's not how that went. It was an adult, and for the show, she was an adult. So let me just make that clear. Seeing Gambit and really solidifying, you know, especially for longtime watchers of the animated series, you know, seeing how Gambit reacts to that, and when Magneto's like, yeah, I'll only be the ruler if I can have Rogue be my queen, and Rogue explains that, and the performance of Rogue, like, man, I touch is so very, since I can't touch people, that's a part of my love language, and the person that I really, really love, I just can't fucking touch, and that's driving me crazy. And Gambit, as usual, despite his flaws and his, you know, his own demons, there's nothing more, like, he's gonna understand. Like when he says, you know, we won't be lovers, we'll just be friends in the most this shit sucks way, but I'm gonna do what I can for you because I still love you, even though that's not the same. Yeah. And then let me toss it to y'all because I'll go on for 40 hours with this.
Since you said that, I feel like it was very mature storytelling, because a lot of men would be angry when they see a girl that will be with another man. You know, it'd be on like Donkey Kong, but Gambit was like, you know what? It is what it is. The name is Gambit, mon ami. Remember it. like just and he died protecting the people that he loved. There's nothing more heroic than that. Like he like he was a hero in every sense of the word, and he's one of my, and I love the relationship that him and Kurt had before he passed, because like I said, Nightcrawler puts everything into perspective for everybody. That's why Kurt is one of my favorites, because he's able to get people to understand stuff that they didn't understand before in a very human and natural way. And just, and then later on, Nightcrawler kind of helped Rogue in the process, with her grief process, when when Rogue is so upset that Gambit is gone, because she didn't really understand it when it happened, but later on, she's doing all this stuff, all this, she's taking her aggression out on everybody, and and just seeing Gambit pretty much going into hero mode, and it was one of the things, like, yeah, where you just nod, like, yeah, that's pretty much what I did, that like the end of the episode when the Sentinels attacked. And then seeing Cable come, and he's trying to stop it, like he comes in, he's like, I'm too late, like he couldn't stop it, and it's like, it's heartbreaking because he's trying to save his mom and he couldn't do it, and that leads to other events happening after. But like that whole episode, like from them going to Genosha, just seeing everybody living in harmony, and stuff like that, and then them going to the ball, and then when the Sentinels attack, just pretty much going from 0 to 100 real quick. And that's pretty much what the episode is, going 0 to 100 like that. And like I said, if it is up for Emmy nomination, that's awesome. Or Emmy consideration, that's good, because it should be, because that episode, like, it gets you in your feels real quick.
Yeah, y'all hit the points perfectly. I mean, what else is there to say? I guess I'll go there. It works on multiple levels, notwithstanding what Q touched on earlier with the Krakoa stuff, because I feel the exact same way, but just by itself, powerful metaphors for some, real world atrocities. I think we all know what they're reminiscent of. Not just the immediate ones, but it's very reminiscent of a lot of things where it's just people trying to live peacefully, and death and destruction. I mean, all the way back to the 30s, the 20s. Like you can look at Tulsa, Pulse Shoot, like it's tons of stuff. And
even 9/11, so even 9/11,
yeah, exactly. And Q, when you start talking about Gambit and Rogue's relationship, I ain't gonna lie, just the way you broke that down, I have to look at the way Bo and the writers handle these characters, because that's a whole nother layer, because you could easily interpret that as, just say, you can easily interpret that as someone who's gay and someone who's straight, and them not being they're being incompatible sexually, but them saying, hey, we'll just be friends, and it's, a beautiful, like, it's so, see, that's the thing about X-Men. That's the thing about this specific series, is that the maturity, it takes layers that I don't think we've seen in these kind of cartoons for a long time. I don't even think a lot of modern animation that's normally marketed for kids doesn't go here. But even then, that could be argued, was this really marketed for kids? Because,
you're right. Because think about the audience, like the people who grew up watching it, like the people who grew up watching the original, like they're going to flock to it, because they're like, okay, how's it going to continue? How's it going to live up to the original? And it's not like all the stuff, like when they reboot things that we're going to watch it, because
that's how you do a reboot.
It's nostalgia, like Like
Yeah.
it's pure nostalgia, just and great storytelling. Like if you have a great story, people are going to flock to it. People are going to go online like, "Oh my god, have you like going and just talk about it?" If it's amazing storytelling, people are going to let everybody else know
hmm
that it's great.
Ooh, Batman Cape Crusader better step up their game.
Yo, go, Mike.
Ten out of 10, no bars.
Period.
That's
Period.
it. Oh,
No notes.
that's it.
No notes. No notes.
Nah, he
I
said
do.
what he said.
No notes. I have no notes. I had notes like 4 weeks ago, but no notes.
That's crazy.
No notes.
That's Mike's to tossing the shade my way, y'all. Just want to let y'all know about
No,
that.
I'm not.
I
It's
just
no
wanna-
shade. I said 10 out of 10, no bars. Y'all already touched on everything. It was like an emotional episode. Definitely 10 out of 10. Like the best animated episode I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Yeah.
it gets no better than that. Like emotional beats, the build up, the drama, like the fight scenes, like the deaths, like it takes it to another level. We've never seen anything close to that in animation. The only other thing I can think that I've seen that in animation was Invincible, and that's when the Guardians got killed. But that doesn't even compare to this. I'm giving you an example of something else that could compare, but that like we've never seen anything like that happen. So 10 out of 10, no bars, no notes.
I want to say, Aaron, that point you made earlier that you just got done making actually about Rogue and Gambit. I didn't even put that. I didn't even think about that. That's something I like. Yeah,
It's
that's
there.
that's
Let me write a
a
paper on it.
that's a viewpoint I wasn't even thinking about. Yeah, this was the episode. That was the episode where I said, yeah, I do not regret clocking out of Invincible season 2 because it wasn't grabbing me. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you, before we head on to the, because they've made it 3 parts, but it's really a 4-part season finale. It's really 4 parts if you ask me personally. Because we're gonna go straight into the finale, and then we'll wrap up. Not wrap up. You know, the last thing we'll talk about is some of our favorite things in general about it. Like X-Men 97 is like, I don't need these. I don't need Invincible. I don't need The Boys. I don't need these wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or these. Not saying that they shouldn't exist, because obviously, like, if it's a good enough story, especially in the comic book realm, make it. However, if your sales pitch is, oh, this is murdering, you're going to get sex, murder, real world issues, but from comic book characters that aren't the big two, and also poke fun at the big two, X-Men 97 means you made it abundantly clear y'all gonna have to do a little bit more than that. And I'm not saying that's all Invincible was, because I enjoyed the first season and I like the episodes I saw of Invincible season 2, even though I think that it has a black person problem, but that's still an episode for a later day.
Look, hold on, because I got some things to say about that. I got some things to say about that.
And that's actually probably the reason why I stopped watching season 2, because I'm like, yeah, there's an underlying black person problem in Invincible, but that's a Kwamani only opinion. So don't hold this against MD. That's a Kwamani only opinion that I may touch on later. The Boys I just haven't watched.
It's great. It's good. It's good. It's good.
I believe everyone who says that. I have no issues with The Boys. I might watch it, might not. I'm not gonna be stressed if I don't. Homelander is in MK,
and Gen V is good too. Gen V is really good too.
I've also heard that. I believe y'all. If I might watch those, I might not. I have no beef against those. The comics are shit. Don't read the comics. They're written by a very talentless comic book writer, but I 100% believe that the show is better. But yeah, they're gonna have to step their game up, because if the mouse is letting folks go off the chain like this with their marquee property, not the Avengers, Sony got the Spider-Man stuff, and y'all already know how I feel about them as the Spider-Verse movies. I ain't even gotta say no more words about that. But if the mouse is letting folks off the chain about with their marquee stuff with these X folks, y'all gonna have to do a lot more. Just straight up. Yeah, but let's talk about this finale. Let's talk about Tolerance is Extinction with the preamble to the episode before. What was the episode? What was episode 7's title? I forget. Does anybody have it quickly? If not, we can just say it ain't no problem.
Hang on, let me see if I can look it up.
Bright Eyes.
Yeah,
Bright Eyes.
Bright Eyes.
Bright Eyes. Woo! Y'all are coming in real weird on these earphones. Bright Eyes. Yeah, Bright Eyes. Seeing Rogue go on that damn rampage, y'all. That was epic. They should have called it Rogue's Rampage, to be quite honest with you, and I would have been not upset at all. Bright Eyes is a very clever allusion to what happens at the end of the episode, but Rogue's Rampage would have been just as apropos. Because she was whooping folks' ass left and right. Made
she
folks
wanted
mad.
answers. She wanted retribution and she wanted answers.
Mm-hmm. Made people mad because 97 said the quiet part out loud about Captain America in some aspects, which was funny. And it had one of my favorite closing sequences of the season, and that show had a lot of good closing sequences. But Rogue dropping Trask off that damn roof was, no notes. 10 out of 10, no notes.
I was like, oh my god, did she kill him? That was me. I feel like, did she kill him? What? I mean, deservedly so. I mean, because he had a hand in making the Sentinel, so deservedly so. It's just like,
but
he created he Flatfoot created the Sentinels, Avia. So that's Eve. So yeah, he really didn't deserve no sympathy.
So like,
okay,
but just seeing X-Men. So it's like,
you can't
they went there.
Kill. They can't.
So when I was like, I mean, to be honest, I was like, like it was like a good surprise. So I was like, they're going there. Oh my god. And then next episode, when we see that he became a Sentinel himself, it's like, see, now y'all trying to cover up. I'm like, come on, y'all should just let him go. But I get it though. I get
Yeah, I said it.
But it would have been interesting though if she actually would have killed him. Like that would have been so interesting.
The discourse would have been out of this world. The discourse.
I mean, technically, she did. I mean, his heart stopped.
She did, but he came back as Sentinel though, so it's like
it was for the plot.
Yes,
it was for the plot. I just
Mike,
I don't like the reaction to that. I don't like the reaction. The fans are ops.
That's we're gonna touch on. That's gonna be one of the things we touched on that towards the end. Mike, how'd you feel about your girl Jean showing up and showing out?
I enjoyed it. Saw her get real blue, do her big one. Nah, that wasn't her big one, but yeah, it was cute.
So yeah, let's hop into Tolerance is Extinction because that to me, I have thoughts. I have more thoughts on the whole trilogy, the whole going through it. So like, as it was touched on at the end of Bright Eyes, let's rewind it all the way back. So the main villain of the season was Bastion. Bastion was a Sentinel human hybrid. He was a character that was created back in the original series of not Age of Apocalypse episode, because it literally was conceptualized like at around the same time as the comic book of the comic books event, and no one like knew that was the same thought line, which was funny. But in that episode, Nimrod Sentinel, which is an ultimate Sentinel, goes back in time and basically impregnates a woman with the technology to make a human hybrid Sentinel. That sequence of events featured reference number 1. and basically he was throughout the season, he was like sprinkled in the backgrounds. Like if you were a comic book reader, you recognized him or knew he was there. You just didn't know if he was the main villain or not. But as the season went on, you kind of put the pieces together that yes, it was him. And basically, he is he's your quintessential racist, false victim, loser, douche you can find. He's the reason why Genosha went through the genocide, and he created the human hybrid sentinels that Trask turned into. And apparently a lot of people were created because they were volunteering for these procedures, because they were like, some volunteered, others were infected. But the gist of it was, so many humans were human hybrid sentinels, and once Bastion sent the signal out, they activated, and they were hunting mutants. And basically that was what the X-Men had to deal with. It was those were some experiences, just in terms of man, these our friends, our family in the X-Men, they're going through a lot right now. You got Jean, Cable, and Cyclops going to the town and getting, bum rushed and driving cars and flying planes and kicking ass left and right, showing out as the Summers family. Nightcrawler and Wolverine holding down the fort, with some of the best Nightcrawler shit I've seen. And I love X2, and that had probably the most quintessential Nightcrawler moment, and this topped that easily. And Wolverine, who was basically on the sideline all season, finally got to show out and use his claws and things of that nature. And I think what was the most poignant part of part one was Valerie Cooper, who was the liaison more or less for the X-Men throughout the season, but then turned out to be a Bastion sleeper agent. A lot of people thought she was Mystique. She was not, or maybe she is Brother. Who knows? Also, Valerie Cooper's voice actor is the original Jean Grey voice actress as well, which I didn't realize until the end of the season when someone pointed that out, which is cool. She's also the original Jill Valentine from Resident Evil, so that's another Resident Evil reference making it here. But when she did her monologue about what she was, her realization after being on Genosha and watching all of that, juxtaposed with her releasing Magneto, who didn't die on Genosha, he was actually captured, and her, ending it with, what I realized, the scary thing, Magneto was right, and that was juxtaposed with him knocking out the poles and everything like that. Again, proving X-Men 97's worth with a lot of veracity. Which y'all's quick part one thoughts on Tolerance's Extinction.
10 out of 10, no notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Mike?
I was one of those people who thought Valerie was Mystique, and I'm still one of those people who still think Valerie is Mystique.
Same.
Other than that, it was great to see a villain like that be sprinkled throughout the whole entire season. And then to show his true form in these last 3 episodes was really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. Part 2 of the whole shebang, that's probably my whole thing on 3-parters, y'all, is that part 2 is always going to be the most epic one. I don't know what it is. People like to shit on part 2 all the time, but part 2 for me is always the one that has the most to it, the most substance, and this one was no different. Part 2 was dealing with the fall. First of all, Professor X had returned to Earth at the end of part 1. So part 2 was dealing with the fallout from everything that happened with the human hybrid sentinels that got disabled when Magneto knocked out the poles on Earth and everything like that. And so Magneto pulled up to the mansion with Asteroid M and was like, yeah, I tried it. I gave it the old college try, which is more than I can say for myself because I didn't go to college. So he's like I'm back on my fuck human shit, rightfully so. And whoever want to ride with me. And Rogue was like, as an X-Man, I watched my people get slaughtered and was virtually helpless. Yeah, fuck these humans too. And then a character we didn't talk too much about because there was really nothing to talk about was Sunspot. He was here. He's been yeah. So there's not there is a lot to talk about Sunspot, but in the show's context, there's not a lot to talk about with Sunspot.
They could have though. They could have
very much so. And they might do it with season 2. But we got to see where direction they go in first before.
Quad is a skill. Okay. All right. Never mind.
Let me know. What you gotta say?
No, I'm okay.
It was just heartbreaking because like the relationship that Roberto had with Jubilee, like they were becoming friends and they were starting to have a thing for each other. And, just because his mom, was trying to, be like, look, pretty much what a lot of parent mutants would do. Like, look, we're not going to let anybody know, what you're going to do. And, we're going to keep this a secret. Pretty much the whole shebang. We know. And so just, I guess, that having an effect on him. And, he's like, you know what? My mom treated me like this. She treated me bad when she found out I was a mutant. So you know what? F the humans. I'm going with Magneto. It's like, okay, Roberto.
Which is factual in this. Mm-hmm. And I want to touch on something that Ash from X of Words and his review podcast he did with Dr. I really hope I pronounced the first name correctly. Kalindi and Nas. They did they had their own X-Men 97 review podcast referentials. He brought up the this point, which is very apropos. For the majority of the season, we are presented with a very much not part, like a very nuanced for X-Men 97 viewpoint on the post Charles Xavier mutant human relations and how mutants should actually view themselves and not necessarily through the lenses of human acceptance, which, of course, there's a lot of real world implications to that. And the unfortunateness, basically of how they had to, because they had to have Magneto be the big bad guy for the season finale, they kind of had to make him be unreasonable just for the purposes of it working, which kind of undermines a lot of the great talking points and scenarios they presented earlier in the season. And so this was where that had to happen, with him knocking out the poles to the earth and, basically that being a no-no for the prime reason of, humans are dying, but that stopped Bastion because he can't send any Sentinels out there to hurt mutants, but, humans will die and all of that conundrum and those things. So we kind of have to root against Magneto in this instance because of all the innocence that would be lost, which still was able to be capitalized in a good way as we move towards the finale, because once Sunspot and Rogue leave with Magneto, Professor X is like, look, we got to stop Bastion, but we also can't let the Earth have its, we can't let Earth and humans die either. Like we have to find a way to do both. So Jean, Storm, you take a team to Genosha and take out Bastion, and I'm going to go to Asteroid M to hopefully convince Magneto to reignite the poles so these humans don't die. And we get a fantastic fight scene with the whole Genosha squad with some epic stuff. We get a fantastic interaction between Jean and Storm. One of the
there's a great quote. She said, have them mind your weather, sister. Have them weather your mind. It was like that. I love that. And now that's something that they did kind of acknowledge a little bit. Just a little bit more, that they would have done a little bit more. But Storm was away, so they really couldn't do it until they got back together. But their sister bond. People forget Storm and Jean are around the same age. Like they're very close in age, so they're like sisters. Storm, like me and Aaron were talking about earlier, Storm's not her mammy. Storm is her sister. Like she's not just some older black woman that's looking over Bean. Like they're like they grew up together.
Why did you?
like they grew up together.
Yo, mammy. Oh my
Like,
god, why would you
she's
say
not.
that?
Like she's not, and the fact that they called her that they call each other sister, like I appreciate that because they are like sisters, and you actually see that relationship. I just want to see them, further, go further into it later. But just seeing that relationship, that reconnection, like it never went away. Like I love that.
Facts. Mike? What's up?
What? What?
I'm still stuck
Was
on
I
Mammy.
wrong?
I'm sorry. No, you wasn't wrong.
Was I wrong?
Mammy just skip me. I'm in a tickle right now.
What about you, Aaron?
I was here for it the moment Magneto put that helmet back on. I mean, Magneto was right. I just don't. If you go make the parallels with certain movements, I just don't like him. I don't like making him. I don't know. Magneto is a very interesting character, and when
You
you
don't gotta
have
do
him,
too
have
much
to
to damn
kind
make him do what you want him to do.
You know,
Just say
you
that.
know,
Just let him,
I don't
let
like
him
that.
feel his feels and let him move how he want to move, but don't get in his way. Don't don't correct him when he knows, when in his heart, in his mind, his soul, he know that he's right. Just let him do what he got to do. Let him feel his feels and let him have his way.
And
if you got to beat him up afterwards, just beat him up. No shame.
Logan
Right.
learned that
Right.
lesson. He learned that lesson hard.
I mean, hard. I felt so
Yeah,
bad for him. I was like, damn, my boy.
Oh well.
I was like,
Oh well.
damn, he really did that.
Oh well.
Yeah, they
Gosh.
they did the iconic at the episode in how a lot of people suspected it would, but weren't entirely sure Disney would let them go all the way, and they went all the way. It ended with the iconic Fatal Attractions moment where Magneto rips the adamantium out of Wolverine. That I was shocked. We all know the famous line. I was so in shock. I was in shit that they went there.
I remember when you
actually
came up with that.
No, I didn't come. That was not me.
Yeah, you wrote that episode of Girlfriends.
That is from iconic actress extraordinaire Jennifer Lewis. She said that.
Yeah, you wrote the line for her. I remember.
Nah, I don't think I did that.
You did. It's okay. Dementia is a hard thing. I understand.
That is not. That's not the case. And quick shout outs to everybody watching, leaving comments. We've seen them. We're gonna touch on. We're gonna touch on them. As many as we can by the end of the episode. Don't worry. Shout outs. Yeah, I was like, and I remember texting Mike the week before that episode and right after, and I'm like, yeah, they're gonna do it, and they're gonna do this, and they're gonna do that, and I was about 75% right in everything they were doing, but the last 25% is still very much TBD. So there's that aspect as well, and yeah. The season finale, the part 3 of it all, we have Professor X, taking over Magneto's mind and reactivating the poles too early like an idiot, and so everybody is everybody's dealing with them riots and things like that. You got Captain America and Iron Man spooked in the White House. Man, what are we gonna do? Like, what's going on?
He's talking about police number 1 and police number 2.
The very same. The very same.
What?
You got
The fact that
Daredevil.
everybody was calling the Avengers.
The one that I was
I love when people call the Avengers police. That is so funny to me. I don't know why, but that is so funny to me.
Whoop,
Like,
whoop.
why are y'all calling them people
But the one-
police?
But the one that shook me though was Cloak and Dagger. I was like, oh,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that was I think that was I like that one because I hate
There's
that
some-
what happened with the Cloak and Dagger series. So I appreciated them having that little moment. You know, I was like, yes, that's cute, that's adorable, just for them because I was very
Like-
interested in them.
Like the people don't
Mhm.
know that when it comes to the 90s Marvel comics, yeah, the Cloak and Dagger are mainstays. They are 90s Marvel comic mainstays. So yeah,
and the show
I was
that was on Freeform was great. Like the show that was on
Yes,
Freeform was,
that, I'm telling you,
was good.
that and
It
the
was
Runaways, that and the Runaways should not have been
Bruh,
canceled.
oh man,
I'm sorry, like they should not have been canceled. They should have been able to be on Disney Plus. I'm sorry, I think they shot. That's a topic for another day.
and
Next.
can I shake the table a bit? Well, let me shake the table from my perspective. Y'all are going to be shocked at what I'm about to say. Peter Parker, what the fuck were you doing? Why were you just standing in the middle of the fucking street when there was a riot coming on? Don't you got a day? Aren't you supposed to be doing something at that time of day? Aren't you supposed to be doing something?
Do you
What
realize
are you
what character
doing?
you're talking about? Do you
What
realize
are you
doing?
doing?
Do you
what are you
realize
doing?
what character you're talking about?
Why
I just wanna
are
be
you-
honest. He's not nobody. He's not Mal Morales. So
Like,
do
what
you
you- like-
realize who you're talking about right now? I just
Like
wanna
your
know.
Spidey
Peter
senses ain't
Parker.
like you
Peter
see
Parker.
these folks. You just walking down the street with MJ.
He was still walking with his clone, right? Ain't that the
Like,
clone?
What you doing?
It was MJ and Flash.
Like
He just-
Flash fucking stealing. Like what are you doing? Like what are you idiots doing? What
They were
are you doing?
Challengers. They were finna recreate challengers.
Like like what the fuck are y'all doing? What
Look,
I
end
would
of the
people
world,
are like
man, do what they gonna do.
first of all, I want to throw some salt at people. I'm gonna rub some dirt in people's eye.
Oh, God.
I don't care what Bo says. Spider-Man the animated series in 1997 is probably on season 3, Mutant Menace, Sins of the Father type shit. So no, MJ is in. Here's the Spider-Man animated series timeline from 94 to 99. That's the timeline, y'all. I don't care what Bo says. MJ doesn't get lost in the multiverse until probably after this season, because we still got the Clone Saga, we still got Secret Wars, we still have the first Spider-Verse event, all of that, and that don't wrap up until 99. And then Spider-Man Unlimited is a direct sequel to the animated series. That's exactly what it is. So we not talking fucking Mary Jane being found until 2000. I hate to break it to y'all. It's not my fault that these folks don't pay attention to what the fuck is being said, but I am. So no,
You're right, though. You're right.
no, MJ is not found because she ain't lost in 97. So that's number one.
Well,
And number two-
no. That's when the Return of Hydra Man happened.
Okay, so it is 97 then. All right, okay, so
Yeah. So
she
was, you know.
yeah, so Peter's about to hit the no real soon. So don't worry. And secondly, what is your dumb ass doing? I don't ever want to catch your 1990s ass walking the streets when there's a riot going on ever again, Peter Benjamin Parker. Don't ever do no shit like that again.
But what about Aunt May?
Let's talk about this just season 3 before I heat up again. So yeah, I'm so sorry, y'all. There's a lot of important stuff, and I just had to go on this tangent because my goat pissed me off being stupid and shit.
Not the first time.
I swear. Y'all take it. I used my time up. Y'all take it from here.
It's a good season finale.
The
It did what it
third
needed.
part 3.
It did what it needed to do.
and I loved
Started
how they
twisting things.
put them in different timelines, like put them in the different timelines, and they have to find the back. I'm interested to see where season 2, seeing Apocalypse in Egypt and all that stuff. Just seeing where the story is going to go in season 2. I'm excited.
Ooh,
I will quickly touch on that fight scene with Bastion was heat. It was gas.
yeah, that was he. No, when he pulled off Cables, like, oh my god, that.
Oh, but when he transformed, when he went even further, when he
Yeah.
adapted and he had the wings, and that was dope. That was dope. I like that. That was dope.
That was a great way to do that. Quick aside, y'all gonna let Marvel, you're gonna let some people use T'Challa again, not T'Chaka. Continue
Yes, that is very accurate. We all
then y'all be real mad how they treat him in the comics right now.
I'll say is this: there is not a single true Marvel fan that do not miss Chad every single fucking day. We all do, but there is a difference between paying respects and withholding his image, and so we need to make sure that is not being done, because if it is, that changes the conversation greatly. And the mouse.
Nah, Sam gonna have to see me.
But that's comic stuff, Mike. That's comic stuff.
He gonna have to see me though. You know what? I'm sleepy.
Really, Mike? You trying to clock out already?
I mean, we going on an hour and 30 minutes.
I mean, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Look, 4 days. I don't open for the last 2 days.
Oh,
well,
we
in
part 2.
Well, no, ain't no part 2. Ain't no goddamn part 2. Man, these folks will see the part 2.
And ain't gonna hold you. I'm giving y'all a bonus content. Madeline versus Jean Grey and the son of Scott Scomus.
Ooh. And,
yeah, so that's why that's Mike. I do want you to touch on what Jean did in part 3.
Literally, she held back from killing that boy. End of the story. And that's just no shade. I love Cable. I love what Cable did this season. I love how I respect Cable. But if you actually go back and watch the episode, this is another episode that I watched 3 times. If you go back and look at it, that lady was holding back. And if I felt bad because it was like at that point she was looking at him as a stepson, She was looking at you like, I already know what you're going through. I already know what you're feeling. You already got the diamond in your head. Mind you, after she just beat the shit out of Sinister. So I just 100%, she would have killed that boy. But in the blessing in disguise of her coming back as the Phoenix and, showing out, really doing her big one, I appreciate that. I do feel like it was kind of like short, but it was necessary for the last episode. And like Avia said, I'm very intrigued on season 2 because how everybody is spread, like everybody is in different time points. You got the present, that's going to be a whole new team and a whole new shit. And you got everybody else spread out. And I think I like that. I think that's the necessary stuff you need to get the viewership for season 2, and that's just no shade, not trying to be funny or anything. You need that big cliffhanger to have us thinking for a whole year, like, how are you going to bring this back, especially with what's up in the air about your original show creator and then heading into this next season. So and I'm still looking forward to, I still have some left hand, right hand things that I want to discuss, but it is what it is at this point because we have to wait and see what happens. Just don't cancel the shit. Mm-hmm. Now, if you cancel it, I'm gonna be pissed.
This ain't canceled.
I know. I'm just saying now. But that would be some real shady shit if they did cancel, which I don't think they would because they did.
Season 2 and 3 is already greenlit. It's already confirmed.
I think that's why I say I'm excited because I've watched the original so many damn times, and I think I'm gonna go back and rewatch it too, just because now I see it. I think you will see different things in a different light as the original X-Men 90s show. You will see different things. You might catch different things. So I encourage everybody to go back and watch it. I also encourage everybody to go back and read some different comic arcs that will probably take place in the future or that already took place. So if you don't know about Life Death, go read that. If you don't know, other things, go read it. Just because I think in this next year, it is a good time for research in the X-Men universe.
1,000,000%. And I'll just say this. Go ahead, Amy. I'm sorry.
Can we, since we were on Jean, can we also talk about how Cable was hating on her? I'm sorry. I know that's not your mama. I know that ain't your birth mama, but come on, bro. Like, she ain't had nothing to do with that.
I mean,
he wanted smoke from day one. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Like,
that boy wanted smoke so bad.
Bro.
And I felt bad because I was like, bro, yeah, you went a little Super Saiyan. But I'm telling you, that lady ain't what you want right now. Like, you just be calm. But it was cute.
Like, I get it.
Real cute.
Like, I get it. She ain't your birth mama. Like, I get it. It's confusing. She ain't your birth mama, but bro, she will love you just like her own child. What
She's
you
the mama
doing,
who
bro?
stepped
Calm
up.
down.
She's the mama who stepped
The period.
Child,
Period.
When the
Like,
real mama
bro,
come back,
chill.
that's gonna be the gag.
Yeah.
Oh, mommy's busy.
But just like he was just what he said, I'm like, bro.
That boy needed a bottle. That's
My mouth
all.
was open. I was like, you do know that's your daddy's wife, right? Like, she's still like.
Look, I'm gonna keep it real. As a person who did not have good step parent experience in life and things like that, I'm not pressed at Cable for feeling the type of way, because he did watch his mama die about 200 times the way Bastion told, he told Bastion. So I feel him. But at
I mean,
I get
it, but that ain't Gene's fault. I get it, but that ain't Gene's fault.
Wasn't it though? Because if Gene didn't come stumbling,
Child,
and
you let the
bumbling
man
back,
that made your mama put a diamond in your head. Get the fuck out of here.
he was wait, hold on. That man was an infant.
You let that man, your daddy saved you, and you still. I'm just being messy at this point because it's the end of the show.
Well, I'll just say this. I am interested to know where Morph and Storm and Wolverine ended up, because those are the only 3 unaccounted for.
Right. It would be cool if they actually just went back to the present, because then you could actually make her the leader with Forge. No shade.
Well, I do. I think it was me and you that discussed it, Mike. That what I think that they it was me and Avery that talked about this.
We talked about it. I called you after I finished it.
Yeah, where they might be in time. They might not be as far in time as the others, or back in time as the others. So that'll be interesting to see. I want to make a one quick aside, and then we'll go into the best moments, and then we'll go into the future project announcements. So Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were on like off planet. Operation Galactic Storm may be happening at that time point at the end of the season finale, because that is a big Shi'ar. Because in the Shi'ar part of the season, when Deathbird called Earth the Milky Way ghetto, they were attacking the Kree, and the crux of Operation Galactic Storm is a Kree Shi'ar war, and maybe because the X-Men aren't there, they have to turn to the Avengers. And if you guys are familiar with the Kree Skull War, y'all know the Avengers royally fuck things up. So that's an interesting little thing, little Easter egg where your mind can travel if you care enough about it. So that was a pretty interesting thing I picked up on. So I want everybody to give their top 5 moments of the season.
Just the top, not top 5.
You don't, you don't have to expound. You don't have to. You can just name the moments and move on. You ain't got to go into it. Why it's your favorite? I can go first if y'all want.
Go ahead.
Okay. The entire sequence of them going falling out the X-Jet. That whole sequence was dope. That's that Power Ranger energy I love to see. Give them the forecast. That was like, if you want to set the damn tone, set the damn tone. Who is this? Okay. That's I lost my train of thought. What? That threw me off. But I'm gonna catch it. So how many I named? 2? Yeah, those are the 2. All of the Man of Steel references. That's 3. The intentional Man of Steel references. Because that just further proves that article I wrote all those years ago. Then number 4 would be Jean packing up Mr. Sinister and then packing up Mr. Sinister again. That's that. And then number 5 would be Nightcrawler and Wolverine showing up and showing out at the mansion, because they said, all right, here's some Wolverine shit now there. And really nobody was asking for it, so they really didn't have to say here, damn. So yeah, that's mine.
I just
Okay.
Why is I?
Oh, go ahead.
What? Well, no, I was just confused. I was confused.
Okay. My top 5 are: number 5 is all the cameos in the part 3 finale. That was dope. Just seeing all the other, how they incorporated all the other heroes. Let's see. Number 4 was when Rogue came down with that dress. I'm like, girl, ever you serving? How could nobody say? Like, the girls and the homies they were dressed down. They were dressed down at the ball. Let's see. 3 is, like I said, Q said, show them the forecast. I love that when Sora came, and because she's an Omega level mutant, like the woman is pretty much Mother Nature incarnate. Like, y'all, like, don't forget that. Number 2, like, it's the picture that has gone viral, but that scene made me holler when I saw it. It's when Jean is in Scott's head. He's in bed with Madeline. Because I was cracking up. I was like, oh, she getting on his ass right now. Like, she is like, when your girl gets in your head. Like, that was funny to me. I'm sorry. I was laughing my ass off. And then the top moment is when Storm got her powers back. That's my top moment.
I agree. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, yeah. Number 1, yeah, definitely Storm getting her OG look and her powers back. 2 would be Emma Frost proving you can't break a diamond. And then Magneto.
Makes sense to me.
Yep. Period.
Mr. Mike.
Yes.
I don't know if we'll get clapped for that song, but that was a baller. That's a banger. I need the
Sorry,
song.
I had to. It is what it is. I'll take the fall for it. We a minute and 33 seconds and cut the last 10 seconds. But nah, that was my like that. My lady was skating. Like, she skate with her classic costume on. Like, I was like clenching my pearls at that point. I was like, the Jean Grey fan in me, mind you, my drag name is named after Jean Grey. Like, my last name is Grey. Like, I literally was living for that shit. So That's like my ultimate favorite scene. Second would be Storm getting her powers back. 3 would be the opening scene with Storm actually causing chaos on the field and everything like that. And then last but not least, Madeline getting her transformation and turning into the Goblin Queen herself. But yeah, that would be my couple favorite scenes.
Facts. The Goblin Queen was whooping their ass.
Nah, I mean, if we would have got 2 episodes of the Goblin Queen, she would have beat the fuck out them. No shade.
It'll go crazy. But yeah, y'all.
She was doing it when she first got introduced. She was doing it when she thought she was making
child, hot mess.
light work. They were light work.
Like they were literally light work. It was when they was fighting in the church. I said, y'all don't like. She's in her domain. Leave her alone. Like, golly, she's religious. Leave her alone.
Shout outs to Jennifer Hale, who's one of my favorite voice actors. Did a fantastic job as Jean and Madeline this season. When she hit Scott with the me, who am I? Say my name, Scott. I'm like, damn, I'll get on my knees too. Don't worry about it. You ain't gotta tell me twice. You ain't gotta like, damn, shit. Woo! A lot of feels going on right there. But yeah. All in all, y'all want to give a ranking? We don't have to. Y'all want to give a numbered ranking, a star ranking, thumb ranking for X-Men 97?
10 out of 10. No notes.
Facts. Aaron, Mike, y'all agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. 10 out of 10. No notes. Like I think this is the best animated series in 2024. I hope it gets nominated for awards and I hope it sweeps. End of the story.
Agreed.
To that person, check your email. Go ahead and check your email, sir. Check your junk mail. It might be in your junk mail, sir. Check your junk mail. You might want to check your junk mail, sir. But other than that, yeah. Check your email, sir.
I'll in the event that it's me, I'll do that.
It's not you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ooh, my stress levels is back down. Okay, so both 10 out of 10s from Mike and Aaron. I give X-Men 97 a Across the Spider-Verse out of 10. Y'all already should know what that means.
Yes, we do.
If I'm invoking any Spider-Verse name, y'all should know exactly what that means. And y'all should know exactly what that means. So, before we get out of here, we got a couple of promotional material that we're gonna drop to y'all's ears. Who wants to go first?
What?
We got some stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I can go ahead and play what I'm gonna play, and we done. Everybody, all hearts.
Well, no, we also got some other stuff too that we got to talk about.
Oh, well, go ahead and say what you got to say, because
it's coming from different. Okay, I'll go first. So Twitch, y'all already know what's going on. We've been rocking out on Twitch. Got some more stuff rocking up. We're gonna be rocking out some Mario Kart 8. When is everybody gonna be able to do some Mario Kart 8? Because I'm Reggie for that. And when we want to work Mario Kart 8.
Set it up, sir. You're the boss. You're the boss. Set it up.
I need to know y'all schedule. I'm good for whenever. So y'all tell me when y'all all will be available, and that's when we'll do it.
When the City Girls get back together.
Okay.
On that note,
no, we legitimately do not end the stream, Mike. We legitimately have some important things to announce.
In the stream, but on that note, that's it. Like,
so next Monday or Tuesday. It to be honest, it would have been yesterday, but some things happened. Some things happened yesterday, so that kind of prevented me from potentially doing that yesterday. So expect next Monday or next Tuesday for the Mario Kart 8 stream. And I'm gonna hold these people to it because y'all have it on video evidence that I explicitly asked them to make sure they tell me their correct schedules before I announce anything. And they said, "Shut it up, sir." And so I've set it up. So now y'all know. Also, The Acolyte comes out tonight,
Mhm.
and you can
That's
expect
exactly what I'm gonna watch
MD
after we get done.
that, and you can expect MD because I have listened and learned. So we're going to be reviewing the first half of The Acolyte, and then when The Acolyte is finished, we'll review the second half, and then we will go ahead and probably do an overview. So yes, that is something you can expect from us to do. And again, I've learned lessons and listened to people and took what they said into consideration and everything like that, and have faith. So that's what we're doing.
And we also have something coming called MD at the Movies. It's each of us, whenever we see a film in the theaters, we'll give a review, critique it in the theater. If not in the theater, somewhere closer, in that type of same atmosphere. So, this is just a chance for us to truly, because each of us have individual tastes. So, along with what we all talk about, together. So, it's a chance for us for y'all to know our personal tastes as far as what we consume when we go to the theaters, and just getting to know our own personal flavor of films that we like to watch and how we critique them and how we talk about them. So it's gonna be interesting.
Big fan.
And it's coming soon.
Real soon, some might say.
Have you? Well, I'll ask you. I'll ask you later.
Really, really soon is the answer to that.